Hello, hello, hello. I hope everyone is doing fine. This is our third session in the training for the Black Women Startup Bureau. And again, it is a privilege to be here. I'm proud, I'm happy, I'm glad to be here. In our last session, we dealt with some self-assessments. I hope that you ladies did enjoy doing that. I would love to have some feedback on how you felt about it. I believe that the number at the bottom of the videos will provide a link to text so that communication can begin. So I'd love to know what you thought of that segment where you learn to kind of like think about who you are, look at yourself, and put things into perspective as it pertains to your external appearance, which is very important, which is the first thing everybody sees, right? Because first impressions absolutely matter. It doesn't matter what comes after that. If that first impression is not a good one, it takes a long time for sometimes never happening for somebody to have a different perspective, a different take on who they think you are. And there's a bias that occurs that the brain is always looking for the negative once it starts with that. It is something that happens without thinking about it. It's a natural phenomenon. It's a natural thing. It's a natural thing. This is how when the eyes see, the brain decides who they think you are. So my topic is always on personal branding, and there are different aspects of it, right? Last we dealt with looking at the outside. Today we're going to look internally. Who are we really? Who am I? I'm Cheryl Diane Suing. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. I want to say that I have had thus far a very blessed life. Not without things happening in my life, but I would say in a general sense, that I'm okay and that I'm good. Because God is on the throne, and that's my belief that once He's there and He's alive, and I am not asleep, I am going to be okay. So I'm okay. Recently had a personal loss of my mom, and it's been tough. Been dealing with it and trying to putting things into perspective. She lived a really good life. She was a good mom, and although I will miss her tremendously, there's a space now in my life where there was always someone there, that person there, the mother, and she's not there anymore. But my consolation is that I know where she is. I'm almost certain. Well, nobody can be 100% certain, but I am sure I know where she is, and that she's no longer in any kind of pain or any kind of discomfort. So I take my consolation from that, and that was privileged to enjoy so many years of life with her, and to learn so much from that beautiful, strong woman of substance who did have a personal brand. She was strong, she was firm, but very loving and kind, jovial. She made everyone laugh. That was her brand. Whenever the family was having any kind of gathering or get-together, they'd always ask, is Auntie Rachel coming? Because they wanted to hear the family history and the stories and all the different things that made everybody so happy. So, there you go. So today we're dealing with the inside. I am a biblical person. I believe in God, I believe in the Creator, and I never minimize how I feel about God and how my relationship is with God. I never minimize it. Everyone can put their thing into their own perspective. I am here today to say to you that I believe that God, because I've read it, foreknew us before we were formed in our mother's womb. He knew who we were going to be. He knew exactly who we are. And because of that, we have to understand that we need to have that confidence in who we are as well. Because if He knew us and He chose us before the foundations of the earth, we need to understand who we are as well. And a lot of the times we don't get because we don't ask, we don't get and we don't achieve because we don't understand the power that we have within us. He says to ask and it will be given. The reference is made to if a child asks his father for a loaf of bread, will he give him a stone? If we ask our Heavenly Father for something, what will he give us? He will give us our heart's desire. As long as it is in keeping with ethics, standards, and his way for us to live. Upstanding human beings, loving, kind, to each other. And so we have to develop that confidence in who we are and whose we are. I'm still a work in progress. I'm not perfect at it. There are times I'm really good at it. When I could walk into a room, most times I walk into a room with that confidence. Sometimes I walk into a room feeling nervous, but appearing confident. You know, that kind of way, you put your shoulders up and you put that smile on, you say hello to everybody and you pretend, but all inside you, butterflies and all kinds of discomfort happening inside of you until you settle down. So, what is, when you look at yourself, I think the first thing to look at, if you're going to be talking about looking at the inside, is how you feel about yourself. How do you feel about you? How does Cheryl feel about Cheryl? How do I feel about myself? Honestly, I've always felt very good. I mean, in growing up, I've always been very slim built, and I've had fatigues in school, a little peacock. You know what peacock means in Trinidad? That means somebody's throwing shade at you. You say peacock. I think it's French, derived from some French origin, because we have a lot of French and different things in our Trinidad Republic. So people try to tell me that I was too skinny, that I didn't have a good figure and different things like that. But somewhere in the back of my mind, when I looked in the mirror, I saw beauty. And the thing is, the handful of people who tried to make me feel that I was not beautiful enough or didn't have the right amount of curves, as they would say, a higher percentage of people felt that I was a beautiful person. I've never had problems with getting attention for looks. Just saying. I'm not boasting. I'm not being vain, but it is the truth. And that's not what built my confidence. What built my confidence is how I saw me. I saw me as a beautiful woman. I saw me as a gift. And I saw me as someone, most of all, who God loved and who loved him back in return. So I sort of on purpose built that relationship with me, my inner me. I built that relationship. I worked on myself. I would do my affirmations every day. I'd look in the mirror and I'd walk with that confidence. I'd built myself into being a confident woman, so that people's opinions of what I looked like, what they felt when they felt I wasn't curvy enough, or whatever else, I was mainly women, mainly females who would give that kind of vibe to you. I always maintained that I'm sure, that at least I'm sure that I had God who loved me, and I had parents and siblings who cared for me a whole lot. And now, of course, I have 2 sons to add to that, who do love me, and they think a whole lot of their mother. So this internal work is ongoing. I am still always working on me, because there are times when you really don't feel that good about yourself. I went through stages in my life when I felt that I wasn't educated enough, even though I am. But I felt, every time I met somebody, there were so many people with PhDs, it was like, is that selling at the store corner or something? Just like, why? Do I need that? And then I told myself, you know exactly who you are and what you want to do. I started off my career as a young woman out of college, out of high school, out of secondary school in Trinidad and Tobago, as we call it. in the banking sector. And then I worked in journalism for a little while. But there was not a satisfaction in what I was doing. I worked because everybody finished school and they got their exams, their passes in my case it was General Certificate of Education from London. It was those GCE certificates, it was the higher tertiary education, the diplomas and the degrees and everything else. So you got all of that and you just went to work, right? But there was something inside of me that I didn't understand at that time that wanted to do something else. So I kind of toyed with the idea for a little while of getting into nursing, taking care of people. Because it was funny that growing up, I grew up in an area where it was very social, very nice neighborhood where it was neighbors were very social. So we had little parties at each other's homes for every little occasion. We celebrated life. And for those occasions, I was always the person who was called upon to help with hairstyles and makeup and that kind of thing. So it was a natural something that I had. I guess it was a gift. It's a gift that I have to do that kind of thing. And one afternoon, a colleague of mine, when I worked in the Journal, in one of our leading newspaper companies, I worked in the accounts department. She was going to see someone who worked at a spa. Didn't even know where that was. Took the journey with her after work and saw this place and walked into this divine establishment where women were having facials and pedicures and wow, what is this? It wasn't very, you see, back then, that's 30 years ago, this business was not as popular as it is now. Now you can hear that word and understand what it is. It was something that was very unique and different, and I fell in love with this industry. I decided I am going to inquire about where I can get training in this and see if I can kind of sidestep and make this my career. Now, I did this in silence because, or in secret, because, you know, when you have parents who felt that you need to be X or Y, and they were proud of you because you worked at a bank, and because you did this, and because you did that. But it's all about your self-satisfaction. I inquired, I found a school in London. I quietly told my father, I'm taking a loan. I'm taking a year off my job, no pay leave, and I'm going to study aesthetics. And I did. And let me tell you something. I found my niche. I found my personal brand. I found something that I was doing all the time, except now it's regulated. I'm now trained properly, and I'm doing things in a different order. I found my niche in life. And out of that aesthetic industry, eventually over time, I was able to open my own spa, and I ran my own spa for many years. And in doing that, because I had that knack of always looking after people and doing things, my clients would call me and say, listen, I'm going out tonight for my husband, we're going to a function tonight. What should I wear with my blue dress? What should I wear with what accessories should I wear? And I found myself giving advice on dress. And discovered somewhere along the line that there's something called image consultant. So I pursued that as well and became an image consultant. So I am actually a medical esthetician, which means I do like higher end treatments on the skin, like peels and different things. And I also do image. So I help women and men, some good men, to brave men, I would call them, to organize their wardrobes around who they are and their lifestyle and everything else. So that's how my career panned out. And then out of that image consultant thing, I became involved in women's advocacy. So I became a member of the Association of Female Executives of Trinidad and Tobago. It's the premier association for women where we help young girls and women chart their course in life. You know, help them to understand who they are and to move forward in life. We really do encourage entrepreneurship as well. You know, and which was not encouraged back in my time. My father thought I was crazy to leave my good job to open a business, but in the end, he was very happy and he was very proud of his daughter for having stepped out in that way. So I worked for many years in that business, and out of that, people kept asking me, could you come and talk to my group about this? Could you come and talk? And I began speaking without realizing that there was another, that really was another career. And then, of course, a couple of years later, I linked up with people like Lisa Nichols. I did my virtual training, and then I did my in-house training here in San Diego. I did my speaker training, so I'm now a trained speaker. I'm now a trained storyteller, and the career path just opened up for me. And I feel all of this happened because I trusted in my Creator. I trusted in Him to, when I pray, I ask for guidance and for doors to be opened. And I saw the doors just opening and things just coming into my path in a way where, in this way. And that's why I'm where I am today. So today I can call myself an esthetician, which I still love. I love to impart knowledge, teach in that area. I am a woman's advocate, so I speak on behalf of women. I have hosted 2 women's conferences in Trinidad and Tobago, and I'm also an image consultant, so I can help you organize your brand, your personal brand. So my studies and my journey has taken me far and wide in this area, and I really am passionate about what I do. I love it. It is something that I encourage other women to do. Find something that makes you feel fulfilled. It is very fulfilling to me when I sit and talk, even if it's for free. Whether it's a paid workshop or a free workshop or just a lecture, I feel fulfilled when I get questions back from people. When people come to me and they ask me questions about their career paths. When they come and they confide in me about certain things that happen in their life, I feel good about that because I feel that's what I'm here on this earth for. So that's how I built my confidence. That's how I built my career. That's who I am. And I'm saying all of this to you today to tell you that you need to build yourself, because we dealt with the external, which is important, like I said earlier. But we have to also develop our inner self. This person that God put us on this earth to be. This person that we have come here to be. What are we? Are we going to just continue to allow others to dictate our pace? I have a story. I recently been an entrepreneur. I'm still an entrepreneur, but I recently took on a job because someone asked me to work for them. So I do that at the side because I'm building some stuff, and sometimes you got to be sensible. I'm building some stuff. I'm wanting to publish my book. I'm wanting to really develop my speaking career internationally. I really want to do things with myself. So I needed some extra income. So I took on this job. Now she pursued me, right? She pursued me. And one of the things my coach, Lisa Nichols, always said, all of us need to teach people how we want to be treated. All of a sudden, things are going good. And she's now bringing in trainers. When she asked me to be a trainer, but I guess she doesn't really want to pay me to be a trainer. So she's bringing in trainers, and she's wanting me to sit in these workshops. Now there's a principle involved here. I don't mind. I mean, every day we learn, right? And there's always something to be learned. But based on the principle of how things were done, I decided that I'm not taking part in the workshop. She's very upset with me about I got a whole long speech in front of all the staff that I'm in charge of. I'm in charge of the staff. All of the staff that I'm supposed to be responsible for. So talking down about being responsible and being not too old to learn, and a whole long story. But you know what? I stood my ground. Because guess what? This confident woman here knows who she is. I know what I know. I live what I know. I teach what I know. And I'm not going to let anybody make me feel less than I am. I am confident of who I am. I spent a number of years. When you have 30 years experience in an industry, there are always things to learn. There are always updates and upgrades. Fine. But those are small, minor things to upgrade and update yourself. You do not go back into a basic training because somebody feel that they should push you back there, because they feel they want to see you there to belittle and undermine who you are. Be strong and confident. That's the power that you and I have in us. We have that power. I have that power. I was given that power. That power is mine to stand up and own who I am. And this is my brand. This is who I am. I am Cheryl Diane. I'm an image consultant. I'm an esthetician. I'm a speaker. I'm a woman's advocate. And I'm sure of who I am. And I don't need anybody to validate that. Nobody needs to tell me or try to validate who I am. I am sure of who I am. So today, as I end this today, I want to say, all of us have that power. Each and every one of us on this training has that power within us. Reach inside. I always tell people, if you're building a house, so I'm going somewhere with this. If you're building a house, you don't start with the walls or the roof, you start with a foundation. Decide what your foundation is. Mine is God. Mine is my spiritual. Mine is my connection to my Creator. Decide what your foundation is. Build that foundation. And off of that foundation, you build the rest of your life. Get yourself, because everything else has failures in it. Everything else has its ups and its downs. What never shifts is that spiritual foundation. Build that foundation and build the rest upon it. And you will see how different your life will be. I'm saying to you, the power is ours. We have that power to be who we want to be. I dare say, blood was shed for us to have that kind of power. That is my belief. Blood was shed for me to have that power. So I am claiming that power and I'm walking in that power. Yes? Okay. So, let's embrace the power. Let's begin to build the confidence inside, because we'll never be confident if we don't start to reach inside and understand who we are and believe and build who we are. Okay? So, there we go. Our next session is going to be on communication strategies as part of our personal brand. We need to understand how to communicate, when to communicate, when to listen, when to talk, how to do this. We need to understand that. So, until our next training, I will see you ladies. I'm so excited, I'm so stoked, I'm so happy to be here. Let me tell you something. This is coming from my heart to everyone who will be listening to me here today. Take care. See you next time.